What's up, guys, and welcome to the Martyverse. Today, we'll be talking about Sipher characters. So we're gonna go in detail about all the info that's been released so far on the different characters and races that you can use within the game. So let's dive in. All right. So first up, there's four confirmed Cipher species. So we have the Inu, we have the NEKO, we have the BURU, and we have the TORI. So basically, the obviously the Inu is for the Shiba Inu, the NEKO is for the cat, the BURU is for the bull, and the TORI will be a bird type of Cipher species. So the Inu has already been released. The first 10,000 Inus has already been released. The NEKO, as at the time of this recording, the 10,000 NEKOs will be released on November 6th, which will be the sale. And the BURU and the TORI will be scheduled for release sometime next year. I believe Q1 is the timing on the roadmap. So we're gonna go into detail on what we know based on the info that Cipher has released, the different sub races and skills that these characters have. So let's start with the Cipher Inu, and so there's four races for the Inu. We have the Canis, we have the BioZ, we have the Cyborg, and we have the Cosmic. Right. So first up, we have the Canis. So basically, I'm gonna talk about what makes them different. Right. Obviously, they're all unique and they're all pretty rare in terms of that they're all Genesis ciphers, right? And then I'm going to be talking about in a different video of the benefits of having and holding a Genesis cipher. There's a lot, so it deserves a separate sort of discussion on its own. But here we're just specifically going to talk about the differences in terms of their in-game skills and how you'll be able to use them. So let's start with the Canis. So Canis are volunteers that has undergone training at the Cypheria Academy prior to joining the First Fleet. As a result, they possess 5 core skills available to Inu race. Alright, so Canis skills. As the origin species of Inu, Canis is capable of a wide range of skills and abilities, allowing them to be the most versatile sub-race yet. So here are sort of the skills that they shared. So Inu has a pure breed passive skill, which gives speed +1 movement. It has a hair of the dog active skill, a recover, which allows it to recover HP and cure all status effects, and dodge this, which is also an active skill, increased attack speed for 1.5 seconds. So you may or may not know this already. Obviously, passive skill is a skill that is triggered. You don't have to press it or anything; it's automatically triggered. And active skill is a skill that you have to click, and then it'll produce that effect on whatever that skill is, right? So also some sort of FYI on the Canis, the Cipher team has mentioned that these are sort of the more versatile and sort of all-arounder type of race compared to the sub races. Obviously, the sub races are more rare and scarce in terms of quantity. The Canis, out of the 10,000, there's 7,000 available Canis. For BioZ, there's 1,500. For Cyborg, there's 1,000, and then for Cosmic, there's 500. So it gets sort of rarer and rarer in terms of scarcity, but in terms of skills, those other 3 sub races are more of like specialist. If you talk about like in gaming terms, they're specialist, and Canis are more all around and versatile characters, which depending on the structure of the team and the game mode, there's gonna be certain uses for different characters. So it's more of an advantage if you have different characters, obviously. So just for the Canis, specifically talking about the Canis here, it has sort of attribute buffs like the speed. It has recover HP and cure all status effects. Probably like if it has like debuffs, it could remove those debuffs and recover HP at the same time, and then dodge this. Obviously, increase attack speed. So that's pretty cool. All right, so moving on, the first sort of sub race is the BioZ. So this is sort of what it looks like, sort of half Inu, half sort of zombie looking type of character. So BioZ are the successful biological experimentations on the original Inu by the mad scientist. They are able to upgrade their biological parts to unlock new skills at the laboratory to be used in combat. So this is pretty cool. I don't have the specifics yet on what exactly this entails, but it's obviously an advantage to having a Bio Z. So you're able to upgrade your biological parts to unlock new skills. So that's pretty cool. All right, for the skills, as the lucky experiments of the first fleet Cypherian Surge, they come fully equipped with the 3 skills specific to their subrace. So first we have Regeneration, which is an active skill that allows it to regenerate a damaged body part, recovering HP. Hungry Must Feed, active skill, Lifesteal attack that damages an enemy while recovering a portion of that HP. Excuse me, of that in HP. And Infectious Disease, which is a passive skill, attack modifier that causes damage over time to enemy or enemies. So yeah, so talking about the Bio Z skills, it also has a sort of regeneration like the Canis, but this one is for a damaged body part. And then it has a Hungry active skill that gives it sort of a life steal attack, right? So if you're a fan of Dota 2, this is similar to like a Nike's life stealer type of character, where obviously the more you attack, it also regains health at the same time. And then Infectious Disease, which is a passive skill. So if you think about this, it also has an attack modifier that causes damage over time. So it's like a poison type of skill, right? So if you activate Hungry, it gains health while dealing damage, but while dealing damage, it also adds an Infectious Disease or a poison skill that adds more damage over time for however long that is. I'm not sure, but so basically sort of a poison effect. So that's some pretty unique stuff for the Bio Z as well. Next up, we have the Cyborg. So half Inu, half robot. So cyborgs are the successful mechanical augmentations on the original Inu by the mad scientist. They are able to upgrade their mechanical parts to unlock new skills at the laboratory to be used in combat. So cyborg skills, as the augmented adventurers of First Fleet, Cypherian Surge, they come fully equipped with the 3 skills specific to their subrace. So it has first off the Super Strength, which is a passive skill, so increased damage dealt using melee weapons. So that sort of hints that the cyborg is more of, I guess, close range or melee type of character. It has Cyber Charge, which is an active skill. The cyberkinetic charge a weapon to increase attack range. So this is interesting. It has increased damage using melee weapons, but then it also has an active skill that increases the attack range, which is actually more common for like long range or non-melee weapons, right? If you're attacking from afar and you increase the attack range, and obviously that's even more advantage. But let's say if he's using melee weapons and it increases the attack range, that's also an advantageous to that particular character. And lastly, this is sort of my favorite skill for the cyborg, the grappling hook, which is an active skill. So it hooks a character close or hooked to an object to pull them towards the object. Okay. So again, for like Dota and LoL fans, this is sort of like a Pudge or a Blitzcrank type of character, where if you hook an enemy, hook a character close to pull them towards the object. Okay, so if you hook the enemy, it pulls you towards them, which then obviously maybe you could combo it with Super Strength to attack at close range, or you could hook to an object to pull them towards the object. So if the object's sort of far away and there's another character near it, you could possibly use grappling hook to get the whatever object that is first. Or yeah, so those are just sort of a couple scenarios from the top of my head that this particular skill would be useful for. So that's pretty cool. Or also, lastly, also just came up, you could possibly even use it for like an escape sort of mechanism, where you hook to an object or a character to possibly run away from a different character, right? So that's pretty cool. And lastly, we have the rarest type of subrace. There's only 500 of these out of 10k. The Cosmic. So it looks super cool here. So a Cosmic is a rare meta occurrence as the fleet enter Cryptoverse. A small selection of Inus were transformed in cosmic beings with never-before-seen powers. They will be able to collect scattered cosmic energy through expeditions across Cypheria to unlock new skills to be used in combat. So these are the cosmic skills. As the first cosmic beings, they come fully equipped with 3 skills specific to their subrace. Number 1 is an active skill called Telekinesis Push, which is an ability to push enemy characters by force of will further away. So if let's say a different character is near you, you could push them away, which is useful if you're trying to escape from an attack, or excuse me, it can be useful if you want to push that particular enemy towards your team, which they could then gank, right? So that's usually what happens in sort of MOBA type games, and those are sort of two common situations where this skill is useful. Next is Time Warp, which is an active skill, which is the ability to go back in time 2 seconds again. Another cool skill by the Cosmic that's useful usually for saving yourself, right? If you're running low on HP, you're about to die, go back 2 seconds, regain that HP, or if there's a situation that useful to use this on, but most commonly it's used for saving yourself, basically, right? And lastly, there's another active skill, which is Ethereal, which is the ability to go invisible for 1.5 seconds. So it might seem pretty quick, 1.5 seconds, but in this like fast-paced MOBA game, I'm pretty sure that 1.5 seconds will be really useful either to attack or to escape. So these are really, really cool skills for the Cosmic. And I'm sure, just aside from the collectible value of in the rarity and the scarcity of the Cosmic, these added skills will be, really useful when it comes to in-game PvE, and most especially PvP. All right, so moving on, let's go. Let's move this to the top. All right, so moving on to the next batch of characters, there's going to be also 10k of NEKO, NEKO waifu, as we like to call them in Cypheria. So we have four races as well. We have the Felice, we have the Synthetic, we have the Crystallis, and we have the Phase Walker, right? So this is the Felice is probably more of like the Canis, in the sense that there's probably the more like common type, and I'm not sure about the scarcity of these other three. Like if this is gonna follow the same like 1,500 in terms of quantity, I'm not sure yet. But these are definitely the three sort of rare sub races, and there's also no info yet on sort of what specific skills each of these characters have. So when that info is released, I'll make a separate video for sure, just talking about the NEKO characters and their skills. So just taking a sneak peek at this awesome looking character set to be released on November 6th. So if you want to join that at the time of shooting this video, that's next week. All right. So next is the BURU, or the Bull. So this is set to release on Q1, sometime in Q1 2022 as well. So this is the very early sneak peek actually from the gameplay teaser that Sipher released, and there's only one BURU release, a sort of sneak peek so far. This is what we got from the gameplay teaser, but just I'm really bullish on the BURU, no pun intended, or actually pun intended. So they're more, from what I've heard as well, they're more of like a charge type tank, I guess, kind of character. They're like big and bulky, probably high armor and strength type of character. That's just my speculation based on its type, like a bull and a BURU, but it's definitely going to be sort of like a charge type tank kind of character, based on what I've seen. So we'll have more details on this as well as the Sipher team releases it. And lastly, for the TORI, obviously there's no info yet. So before I end this video, I actually want to just show, because it's a pretty common question, like how do you actually buy these characters, right? So these are characters obviously you need as NFTs. It will transform into playable characters, fully 3D rendered playable characters when the game comes out. So just gonna quickly go through how you purchase your first sort of Sipher character. So as of right now, there's only they say Freeran Surge, or the first 10k INU race, right? So you could buy these on the secondary market on OpenSea. Make sure you're on the verified collection with a check mark created by Sipher, and in the correct URL is the Cypherian Surge. I'll link these in the description below. So as of right now, let's check these out. So as of right now, the floor price is 0.28 ETH. An FYI, these were minted at 0.1 ETH plus gas, so it's like almost triple in value as of today. So these are the cheapest ones right now. So quick tip, you when buying, you might want to get the ones that have like functional weapons, compared to ones that don't, because they also mention that these sort of weapons will play a factor or will give you some sort of perk when it comes to the game as well. So might want to keep an eye out for those. You see like grenades. Let's see what other weapons you see. This like pipe right here. This talisman, flame. You have the sword or the katana, and different other weapons as well. So it's pretty cool. That's one quick tip. Another way to sort of, if you're looking for, to get the most bang for your buck. Obviously, if you're running on a tight budget, you just want to buy from floor, and that's already more than enough. At least for me, even with the tight budget, that's what I would do. But if you're more looking for collectible value as well, aside from the weapon, you might also want to look at on rarity tools. I'll send the link on the description as well. But basically, it ranks the rarity of all the INUs from 1 to 1,000. So here we see like the top 5 INUs, the most rare ones. The first TR1 is 1:1 copies. There's only one version of this really cool like Van Helsing Inu. We have this cosmic cool looking Inu. This was bought recently for 69 ETH, which is really, really bullish and amazing. And then this Inu, which is like the lab assistant Inu, which is looking cool as well. So all of these are super rare. You'll be able to find these here. And if you're maybe searching for Inus, you can just copy their Inu number, or their ID, and then look it up here, and you'll see their sort of rank in terms of rarity. So that's another quick tip. All right, so this is for the Canis, and then if you want to roll over to the sub races, let me move my face here. You could go here, and then you could click on the different sub races. So you'll see the quantity, right? So for Bio Z, floor is currently at 0.34. Let's look at Cyborg. Cyborg is currently at 0.39 ETH, and Cosmic's pretty crazy price probably. Yep. So we have just one for 185, and then basically the floor is at 2 and more. So it's pretty crazy, but it makes sense seeing that there's only ever going to be 500 of these Genesis Cosmic Inus, and seeing their different skills and the scarcity and the collectible value is through the roof. So that's pretty cool. All right, so that's all for this video, and I hope you learned a lot about the different characters, and I'll see you in Cypheria.